when after you started with the home decor and started going forward?
Man, you know what? I think it was like an influencer hit me up one time, like a not like no celebrity, but somebody has like a nice community online and told me they liked what I was doing, and they put me out to their community. I mean, people was responding to me, and I think once I hit like 1,000 followers on Instagram, I was like, you know what? This is gonna happen. Like, I'm just gonna have to put in the work. And I'm not saying it's over with, 'cause I'm not that popular, but I built up a community. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. No, that's dope. So word up, word up. So my bad, I heard something. When it comes to the brand, the
Mm-hmm.
logo, the cotton, the
Mm-hmm.
vision, started
Mm-hmm.
with the t-shirt, took home decor to get things going, to just get the name out there, try to let people know the message, the vision of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
What was that transition period like when it was time to like turn to the next level? When, okay, we got stuff established, but the vision was t-shirts. How do we create these shirts?
Well, really, fans hit me up. They hit me up with an email, and they were just interested in learning more about me and like seeing if how we could work together. And we
Oh, that's
started
dope.
talking business. And
Dope.
once we started talking business, we nailed it down. I figured out an answer to every problem we had, and once we got all those issues and ironed out, got a deal done, and been moving since then.
No, that's fire. That is fire. So someone from that company reached out
Mm-hmm.
in good faith to try and get something going with you based off of what made them reach out. I'm curious.
The funny thing is, he told me that he's been watching me for over a year and just thought the timing was right. And then I was like, I understand timing. Deborah Holt taught me that.
Watching you for over a year. That's powerful right there, because you never know who's watching and when. And the fact that somebody been tracking you for that time period and respected it enough to reach out at such a company is that's like what more can you really ask for to some degree? Like that's definitely a great step. I'm curious, what did you have to change to deal with that scale and level of business that maybe you didn't have to deal with prior?
Well, definitely, I got to assume some of the risks and make sure that our cotton is delivered to them. And like in traditional conventional farming, we farmers typically work with co-ops that take that responsibility, and they got much more money and institutional buying power to mitigate those risks. So I had to take some individual risks, but it's relationship building. Also, I had to come over with some legal issues with trademark and stuff. Like, so our clothing is under Black Acres trademark, which we got the trademark to that. You thinking working nationally, you can't break no trademark laws. So if you ever see a shirt with black cotton on it that came from me, it's only for merchandise of blackcotton.us home decor. It's not like the clothing line of Black Cotton. That's whoever owns that trademark, they can have it, because they don't want to give it to me because they've been waiting to be able to find somebody, the true Black Cotton, to actually sell. That people do stuff like that.
So somebody already just like almost like domains has to say, I'm gonna buy this Black Cotton trademark one day.
Oh, blackcotton.com is trying to sell to me. The owner of this that blackcotton.com is trying to sell blackcotton.com to me. So I'm not going to pay the price that they're offering it to me for, because I created blackcotton.us.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Yeah.
Whatever them scrubs at blackcotton.com is doing, that's on them. I am very competitive about this business.
Oh man, that is hilarious to me, yo. So people, so it is funny though. So what was that? So when did you figure that out, that somebody even had the trademark as it relates to clothes? Because just as if I take a step back for people listening, this is free game, because you might not know when you need to file a trademark. Now this is free game, and I'm not even a lawyer, so this ain't even no game you can charge me with. This is for your game entertainment. So this is not real legal advice, but this is free game. If you're trying to get something trademarked, there are different classes in which you can get that thing trademarked. You need to do your research. For those listening, if you got an idea and you think you got a trademark idea, you need to figure out what class and how many classes you're going to file for that said trademark. Because just because you have the trademark for, say, shirts, doesn't mean you have it for, say, like something like a car or a radio show or something else in a different complete class. That's one thing. The other thing for people listening into this sort of stuff is when it comes to trademark laws, there are people out there who can argue against your application at some point. That's a part of the process. And there are people out there in this trademark intellectual property space, like you just mentioned, who are owning things, waiting for their day to see an application come across where they can then sue, do something, fight against it, protect it. So you really got to do your due diligence and research to have a really trademark clause around what you're doing, because just because you file an application don't mean you actually got the trademark, one. And what it takes to maintain it across the different classes is like a whole other thing too. So I'm curious for yourself, like what were some of those just lessons learned from a intellectual property standpoint as you started to come up with the idea of Black Acres?
Well, I talked to the owners of Black Cotton Trademark. They weren't trying to share it with me. And then I talked to another trademark that was very similar to blackcotton.us that I was thinking an idea going with. And I gave them the opportunity to share the trademark with me, and neither one of them want to share it. And you know what? I don't knock them, but I doubt they ever get to my level. And who am I to doubt anyone else? But I told them what I was about to do. Well, I didn't tell them who I was doing it with, but I told them I was doing big things. And I'm like, I can help boost you up if you share it with me. And either one of them wanted to share it with me, so I'm never going to help them. But I gave them the opportunity to. You know what I'm saying?
Do you like these individuals? Are they like entities, like a business, or are they like personal?
They own trademarks that I could have helped boost up their trademark and let people know who they were. But they didn't want to share it with me because basically the whole thing is like, I want to set up things so you wouldn't sue me. And they didn't want to share it with me, so they wouldn't want to sue me. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to give you no energy then. Okay. I remember one of them was like, I'll work with you, but I can't share my trademark. I don't care about your work. I don't care if it's Picasso. I'm not working with you because you're not sharing your trademark. I hope you're watching.
I hope you watching.
I'm just keeping it real. I mean...
No, just in cases that he is watching, man. Just in case, man. I gotta let
it's a chance. It is what it is.
Yo, that's the ability to collaborate. It's a thing. It's a thing. People don't want to be collaborative in a way where it's mutually beneficial for like multiple parties. Usually somebody does not want to do something if they don't have a clear-cut advantage over everybody else in the situation. Like rarely do people accept what makes sense without worrying about what somebody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Or worried about how we can work together to create something even bigger exponentially than what it is that either one of us have individually. But yet we gonna hold our human egos and put these things in a way to keep us away from each other and building. It's a silly, unfortunate character trait in our community, man. I gotta say that.
Well, I think that we put a lot of power in owning ideas, but don't give any power to owning infrastructure. And people who own infrastructure knows that they could change the idea because the infrastructure is right here. It's real. Ideas is just in your mind.
No, I like that. I love what you preaching there in terms of owning infrastructure, man. And I'm really big on the idea of us owning more institutions. We don't own any institutions. So being able to leverage family-owned land, passed down from generations, figuring out how to leverage that to a more modern, say, environment, what that's going to look like for the future generations. For a lot of creative thinking, I gotta admit. Like, I guess my question is, because I think when I first met you, I had moved back to Carolina in 2017, and at that time period versus where you are now, you were definitely in the home decor stage and you weren't in full time moving back.